Hey, Charles!
Hey, Stefan!
You watching NXT UK tonight?
Absolutely! What do you think the chances are of Banks beating Devlin?
None, Chuck.
Hey.
Gentlemen, raise your beverages. This is an NXT party.
Bro, the fact, I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. I understand that the insurance.
Let me get my nipples out.
Wait.
That's my nipples are out, bitch. Not
All right.
your nipples, my nipples.
Here we go.
Yeah, no! Hey, yeah, no! Oh, fuck.
Welcome everybody to the NXT party for episode number 87 of NXT UK. I'm your host, the Rated R reviewer, Stefan Osborne, joined as always by the General, Jerry Slaughter.
Good afternoon, wrestling fans.
We've got a pair of special guests today. We've got James Hebert. He's not Jewish, folks. I don't think he should have that name. We also have the Cleaver, Colin Andrew. Presbyterian as shit, this guy over here. Who knows?
Love
Who
it.
knows?
Love
How's it
it.
going, guys?
It's going good, man. Lose, it was a nickname given to me. I didn't choose it.
Well, your last name's Hebert. That's close enough of a reason.
Yep.
Hey,
But yeah, you're no Heb. I say that with all the love there is.
No Hebrew.
It's been a while though, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. It's been a bit. I think the last time I was on here, was like 6 months ago or something like that.
I think
Feels like it. Feels like it. You're the fire behind the show. When anybody gets pissed, you best believe it's this guy.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start the show with a video package to hype the main event. They've been doing this lately, and I think it's a good idea. If you're going to hype one single match, make it the main event of this show, the last thing that you're going to see, and do it as the first thing that you're going to see. Give a motherfucker a reason to hang on till the end.
Mm-hmm.
The start of the show, though, gives you plenty of reason to be hyped. I was hyped. Fabian Eichner, Marcel Bartel, literally one half of Imperium come out, and who are they going to face? Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. The guys that are on a little bit of a fire.
Yeah, they have their winning streak of 2.
If this was NBA Jam, they'd be heating up.
Yes.
Another win and they would technically be on fire. But the problem is this third match is going to be Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. And these guys are a well-oiled machine. They are coming off of one loss.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like their only loss on NXT UK in a long time. Probably that's 6 months that he has been away. So they need a win, and they sure as hell are going to get a win. I'm going to start with James because it's been too long, sir. Been too long. How did you enjoy the tag match to start the show?
The tag match was very, very good to open up. Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter have impressed me, and Fabian Eichner and Marcel Barthel have always impressed me. Literally before Imperium days, I was like, watch out for this team. So they were great here. The crowd was into it. I was into it. And a lot of good tag maneuvers, that's for damn sure. Thumbs up for me.
Colin?
I thought it was really good. You see that Oliver Carter and what's his name again? Ashton Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got their own theme music now.
Thank God.
They got new music. You can still do the whoop whoop thing with it. But this is Imperium. They're going
yeah.
And we're not going to have them lose to Imperium
Or win.
ever. Or win, I should say. But no, I mean, Imperium did their same old stomping ground stuff. You know what I mean? You saw the double corner kick, the European bomb. They look great every time they're out there. So great way to open the show. Great way.
Yeah, I didn't have any notes here really for Imperium other than the win, because it was the same stuff that we see out of them all the time. But like I said, they are a well-oiled machine. They're going to get in there, do what they got to do, get it done, win the match, and move on.
Yeah.
Jerry, your thoughts on the opener?
Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter actually got a lot more offense in than I thought they were going to. I think they suffer from the fact that they don't have matching tights, and Imperium does. But
They got their music, but their tights haven't come in yet.
when you have a tag team that looks uniform and everything, that's it. That's like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
To be fair, they did order them from China, so you know.
Oh.
Thank you for beating me to it.
But there was one move for Smith and Carter that actually really stuck out to the point where I was like, did you just fucking see that?
We backed it up.
Yeah, and anytime I tell Stefan to back up a program, it's usually something really cool, because I don't like doing that. I don't like breaking the pace of the match or anything, but if it's something that they may not re-show, which they end up re-showing anyway, but
Yeah.
but at the same time, it worked out very well. So
You got to see it thrice.
yeah, so
The move he's talking about is Oliver Carter jumps over the top rope, or maybe he gets backdropped over the top rope.
he skins the cat is what he does.
Oh, okay, so I think it was Bartel was down on the mat, and he jumps over him, skins the cat over the top rope, but Smith is on the apron, and instead of coming over, he lands on Smith's back to back, and then Smith springs him back over into the ring into a splash.
That was just sick looking.
It was cool.
That was cool.
There was another cool move that they did together where Smith back body drops Carter, who does a 450 splash onto Eichner, I think. Let's see.
That took some doing right there.
Towards the end of the match, Imperium goes for the European bomb, the European cutter off the middle rope into the power bomb. But I think
The Imperial Bomb.
Smith pushes Bartel off the top rope, and for a moment here, we think Carter and Smith might get this, because Carter does a Rana, Rey Mysterio style, into a pinfall, a package pinfall, and gets this close to a 3 count.
Lord!
That was a very close kick out.
But we see Imperium
That
split him back
was
up
done.
again. They kick somebody out of the ring, and then you see the spine buster into the penalty kick, immediately up into the Euro bomb. 1, 2, 3. Imperium gets the win. Of course they did. Look, man.
They needed to.
Yeah, they need to get their momentum back and let people forget about their loss.
Well, it's not even that. Imperium needed to win in general because of Wolf's loss, not to to Finn Balor.
That too.
Yeah, the entire Imperium faction's been on a losing streak, so this was a good way to kind of get back in their winning ways.
Speaking of winning factions, we get a Gallus promo next, and they're sitting in maybe it's a.
It was like a little cafe.
To me, it looked like a place you might sit down and eat the breakfast buffet at a motel. But they're sitting there playing cards. They got the titles on the table, and they're sitting there talking about Gallus being dominant and blah blah blah. You know,
Top third.
Gallus stuff. What I noticed was at the very end of it, they go to stand up, and there's a fourth person there, and I don't know who the fuck this guy is. They don't mention him. They don't even really. They kind of casually show him in the frame, but not to a point to where it's like they zoom in, like, oh, who's this guy? He's just casually there. Who is this guy? Colin?
I have no idea who he is, but he looked extremely familiar to me during when they did the replay from Mark Andrews getting taken out from last week, and you saw the guy walking with Trent Seven. He looked similar body frame.
Holy shit, he did!
He looked similar body frame, facial was pretty much there. I didn't rewind it and check, but I was like, wait a minute, because I watched last week's again leading into this week's. And
Let's go back
I
and
think
look
whoever
again.
that guy is, because he was with Trent Seven and then ran off with him. And then who was talking to Trent Seven when they did the replay package for Finn Balor, walking through the building when he was leaving. There's just a bunch of different stuff. So whoever that guy is, I have a feeling he's with them.
And he's the one that took out Mark Andrews, maybe? Or that's
see,
the
see,
red herring, and it's still Flash Morgan Webster that did it.
God, that'd be so great.
What if the whole gag of this is the guy is just the random cameo guy? And it just makes random appearances.
Hey, it's Chip from catering.
His ring name is Extra Body.
He is vacant incarnate.
Yeah.
So I like this. We have a full-blown mystery going on, and I feel like Colin's point makes sense that this is just an extension of that Who Took Out Mark Andrews mystery. I like it.
Yeah, that's true.
I like it. And they didn't resort to doing a mystery show before or during the pandemic. They decided all this beforehand.
Yeah.
When was the last time we had a really good mystery in wrestling?
Probably the Aleister Black and Who Done It angle. I think was the last time we had really awesome Who Done It angle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna go all the way back to Rikishi. I did it for The Rock.
Okay.
So we're gonna get.
NXT did that better than the freaking Attitude Era. It says a lot. I'm just saying.
So we're gonna get a couple of promos tonight out of various people who are gonna talk about the 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal that's gonna determine the number one contender for the UK Championship. And in this one, we get Mustache Mountain, who are agreeing that the best man or best boy is gonna win. Blah blah blah. Of course, Alexander Wolf talking about he's gonna make sure that the ring stays sacred. Whatever.
Which makes you kind of wonder.
I did not think that was gonna work.
Oh my God! His mustache stuck.
Nice.
Yay,
But-
big strong boy.
Like, I know it's highly unlikely because chances are we're gonna get Finn Balor winning the Battle Royal anyway. But what if Wolf had won? What was he gonna do? Face off against Walter?
And lay down on the mat and let him pin him.
Hmm.
Because that's Imperium, baby. All for one, one for all.
All for one for all, except for
These are
Walter.
standard promos. Colin, do you have anything to say about them?
No, I mean, I'm just intrigued to see this battle royal. I'm intrigued to see. All right, are they gonna give us the obvious, which is Finn Balor versus Walter, or are we gonna get a swerve and maybe extend this out a little bit longer? Yeah. Breaking news. I know, breaking news. But no, I mean, I'm just ready to see the match. I don't really care about anyone's promos from it.
Yeah, same. We want Finn Balor. Come on.
So we're going to get an interview
that's what we
backstage with Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith following their loss, and they're just talking about, like, keep moving forward, and then they get interrupted by the Pretty Deadly, who, rightfully so, make fun of them.
You lose that match and then you get clowned on by a Pretty Deadly. You're having a very, very bad day.
Yeah.
It's a rough one.
So this is leading towards a tag team match. Cool.
Had the Pretty Deadly even fucking won a match?
No, but they might win against these two.
They might.
They might just. Didn't these guys beat the Pretty Deadly? Wasn't that one of the teams that got them?
Yes.
Yeah.
A little bit smart. Anyway, Nina
If you
Samuels.
call yourselves pretty deadly, you're not deadly. I'm just saying.
You're just pretty deadly.
You're just pretty deadly,
Sort of.
which means they're not deadly.
We're mildly harmful.
Nina Samuels versus Valkyrie. Fuck her first name.
Aoife!
Where is Vince when you need him to take away somebody's first name? God damn. Valkyrie. I have a few notes here. It was an okay match. Valkyrie still hasn't impressed. Her entrance is more impressive than anything I've seen her do in the ring thus far.
Yeah, isn't that weird? She looks like more of a star than frickin' Nina Samuels coming out, and she's been the one that they've put all their frickin' eggs in, and she comes out here, upstages her with the entrance alone, only to get squashed. What? Why?
Colin?
I mean, I'm going to agree with what you were saying, Stefan. Like, her entrance is the best part about her. She hasn't really shown me anything in the ring that's, like, really, really blown me away yet. She just kind of looks a little awkward in there a little bit still. She's still feeling it out. Maybe it's the jitters. I don't know. Whatever. We'll see in time.
She's got some good arms.
She has some good moves. I'm not gonna space her on that, but she hasn't really done 100% to just lock me into her character yet. So besides the entrance, but it's a decent match. You knew going into this that Nina Samuels was going to take the loss because they're not going to have, like James said, the chick that they're putting all the eggs in their basket right now because of the vignettes. And when's the last time we got a vignette and promo package leading up to a women in NXT UK?
We haven't.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
so
Mike Colin as well.
Well, no, didn't we have that for Piper Niven?
But yeah, true.
No, Piper just kind of showed up, and then like she got her big build up for before the pay-per-view.
I think what the problem is they need a deeper women's division, and it's not at the bottom. They have plenty of jobbers. They need it in the middle and the top. And Valkyrie is every bit as qualified to be in the ring as any of the other jobbers. The problem is they can't build up those jobbers because they've already buried them. Mm-hmm. So instead, they're going to take this basic-ass wrestler and they're going to build her up. They're going to build her up with these awesome promos, like these superhero-like promos, and this awesome entrance. And she's just going to go in there and be regular. I like her finishing move.
It's an AEW women's division problem in NXT UK, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
I like her finishing move, and that's about it. She did a running blockbuster, nothing I've never seen before. I did put it down. She did have a pretty wicked enziguri leading up to that, but I've seen plenty of people do awesome enziguris. Like, other than her finishing move, she is a basic white bitch. Basic ass bitch. Like.
And not only that, like it doesn't. Just to put it in perspective too. When I see Nina, I just get Kaden Carter, Lacey Lane vibes, where it's just like it's not all there. I don't know why. That's what I get out of it with Nina.
I see better moves out of Nina though than I have yet out of Valkyrie.
I was about to say,
Very
like,
true.
my thing is, Nia Samuels is more or less a glorified jobber. She's really great at what she does, which is putting other people over. This match was probably the best match I've actually seen out of Valkyrie, and that's because she was in the ring with Nina Samuels. Nina Samuels is pretty much like the closest to a ring general that these women actually have in NXT UK so far.
Nina's in a place where she's like lower mid card, where if she faces a jobber, she'll win and she'll build up some wins. But if she faces anybody that's up and coming or anybody in the main event area, she's going to lose because she's
pretty much become like the gatekeeper for that division. Like one loss to her could put you all the way back down to the bottom.
Belair
of the NXT. There you go. That's the best way of describing it, because like a win against her could propel you up to the next step. A loss to her could put you right back down the bottom.
So we got Valkyrie with that enziguri and running blockbuster, and then a spinning heel kick that leads into that diving axe kick that she calls the something. We backed it up 3 times.
Parapete. It's actually Irish for sudden reversal of fortune.
Cool. Speaking of the women's division, let's knock it all out right now. In an interview backstage with Piper Niven, and she says she just needs to stand up to Kaylee Ray because she feels like Luna is big enough and strong enough, Danny Luna, to take care of herself, but then again, obviously not, because she ran out there to save her. Like, talking out of both sides of her ass. Either way, this looks like it's leading up to Kaylee Ray versus Piper Niven, but in the meantime, we are going to see a tag match. She announces that next week it's going to be her and Danny Luna versus Kaylee Ray and Jenny. So Jenny's finally coming back into some sort of picture. I'm happy about that. Jerry, what do you think?
I think Luna turns on Piper Niven and they become like a 3-person faction, because Jenny's actually looking for that hired muscle, and Danny Luna's the perfect person for it.
But Jenny wants the title.
Jenny won't even be a factor in it. I think if anything, maybe Piper Niven gets turned on by Danny Luna, but then Jenny turns on Kaylee Ray, and they both do an administered beatdown.
Too much time by yourself, and you're the king of conspiracies.
Yeah.
Colin, how do you think this tag match?
I will interject by saying
go
we're
ahead.
talking about all these names, and yet I haven't heard Jazzy Gabbert or Killer Kelly in that conversation once.
Jazzy
because I
Gabbert's
haven't
gone.
brought them up. How have we gotten to this point?
Well, Jazzy Gabbert quit. She's gone.
Really?
She's out. Yeah.
She's gone.
Wow, I did not know
She-
that.
she
I'm a
full
little
blown
out of the
quit.
loop when it comes to that. I didn't know she just went up.
Which is weird because you mentioned those two names, and Jazzy Gabbert and Killer Kelly were supposed to have that match, and then Jazzy Gabbert quit, and Killer Kelly just kind of got lost in the
Yeah,
shuffle.
Killer Kelly came back and had, 2 losses, and now she's just lost in the shuffle.
I think I think she would be the best choice to be, the next contender and then get the championship on her because she is intimidating as hell.
She's pretty much
Yeah.
the ring. She is the ring comp girl. She wears all their models all their clothing and everything. It only makes sense for her either to be in the group as a female member, or
I agree.
at least brought into fold, brought in a little bit heavier at this point.
And at least if you put her with Imperium, it would at least give the women's division some legitimacy as well.
And, I might add, she has an extremely great ass.
Absolutely.
This is true. This is
Colin, how do you think this tag match is going to go next week?
Well, I mean, I know you said that Jenny wants the title. Well, she has one. She's the current Progress Women's Champion. But I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, it's looking like a setup that could happen, and Danny Luna could turn, and they could have that faction, or we could have Toni Storm come down and somehow interfere, and trying to get a little revenge. At least she can't go after the title. Try to get a little revenge, maybe cost them a match, and then we get a setup between Piper and Toni.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is where we're going to get Piper versus Toni before we see Kaylee Ray versus Piper.
You mean like a Toni Storm heel turn?
That before. I feel like we were in deja vu with those three women, though.
That's all they've got in the
and
main
the problem
event.
is NXT has pretty much forwarded all the, the best women in the world, including from other countries, which makes no sense to me because if they're from the UK, why aren't they on UK?
Well, they did steal the current NXT Women's Champion, Rhea Ripley. So, yeah, this is all they've got in the main event right now, and so they're just working it. Meanwhile, we get a video cap of last week's attack on Mark Andrews, and something's fucked up with his leg, and he doesn't know who did it, and Flash Morgan Webster now says that he's going to find that person and they're going to pay, but meanwhile, while Mark Andrews is laid up in the hospital, he gives his full permission for Flash Morgan Webster to go full bore into that 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal and win the #1 contendership and lose against Walter. I mean, if he won, that's what would happen.
That's my mentality on it. Like, Colin's theory that he's got is pretty damn sound, but if there is a secondary person that I think took out Mark Andrew, it's Flash Morgan Webster.
Let's skip over this and go to A-Kid versus Noam Dar, because this was a nice little fun match.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But Noam Dar is the reason that it was a nice little fun match. He is so great. He is so great. He is so hilarious in the ring. Oh my God, Noam Dar. But before I suck his dick anymore, let's go to James. What do you think about this match?
Pinky up, man. Pinky up. That's my thoughts right there. Yeah, no, he's hilarious, man. The funny thing is, too, I was so, over Noam Dar until his match with Trent Seven, and I don't know what has happened, but it's now that he's not having to do the crap that he was doing before, oh my God, he's coming to his own, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's a great heel. He's just a great, funny heel. I love it.
Colin.
No, I agree with James on the he's kind of rejuvenated his character because for the longest time I hated seeing him pop up on my screen. I mean, you couldn't doubt he had a bad match, but because I don't remember the last time I've seen a real bad Noam Dar match. The dude's on point, and lately his character has just gone through the roof. I thought it was a good match. A-Kid, I still don't know where he stands with me. He needs to change that fucking name though, because it's terrible.
Literally, Owen told me his name. So like right when he's about to debut, Owen tells me, friggin' somebody, I think it was Jordan Devlin. Jordan Devlin's going to be fighting off against a kid debuting next week. I'm like, we have gotten so lazy that we have called a person in wrestling a kid.
Now there's a story to this.
Yes, a dash kid, and I'm just
It's like player one. Like, you know, like, oh, my name is player one.
Well, what he needs is another little guy from Spain to come in and be his tag partner and be called B Kid. A Kid and B
You
Kid.
gotta have a kid, B kid, and C kid.
Okay, it's too far.
To face off
Too
against
far, James.
to face off against
You
Sean.
took it too far, James.
No. To face off against Sean Waltman, the 1-2-3 kid.
Okay, I apologize, James. That was taking it too far.
Good at it.
The story supposedly is in his first match back in Spain, he was being called the anonymous kid by the crowd because he didn't have a name, and he just shrunk it to A Kid, and that's where it was. I don't think it should have traveled over with him because they've given plenty of people different names, and he needed a different name. I totally agree with you.
Yes,
Colin?
yes.
But no, I thought it was a decent match. I mean, Noam Dar, he's one of those superstars though where he can lose and just be just fine. But I just knew walking into this in that beginning promo he was going to take the victory on this. But no, it was a good filler match for sure.
Well, I mean, he took it in the most appropriate way possible. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Jerry?
Noam Dar did what pretty much Finn Balor did. He went back to what you consider almost roots by going back into a farm system, and he's just been dominating since he came back. He's been one of the most entertaining spots on television. His matches have never looked better, and he's actually either enhancing these other talents or just pissing people off. And either way, it's great television.
It is.
He's just got this bravado.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so confident, and there's spots in the match where he'll just turn a move inside out and reverse it against you, and instead of just following up on it like any regular wrestler would, he'll back off and just be like, "Yeah, that's right, bitch. I did that."
All right, can I ask you guys a quick question? What happened to the first 10 supernovas?
I mean,
Question.
Oh my God, Jerry! I'm so thankful that you interrupted me for that.
They had that song by Oasis.
Well, a good example of this is
one.
Noam Dar catches A Kid in the ropes, and he pulls him out for a Randy Orton style draping DDT. But instead of letting the crowd see a draping DDT, he drops A Kid, who lands on his hands, and then just kicks him in the head, and then just raises the pinky because the crowd loves to boo this guy, and so do I. But he's so hilarious. He wins this match A Kid's got like a wrist lock or a waist lock on him, and he kicks him in the balls. He mule kicks him in the balls.
Full blown.
And it wasn't a weird
He was
angle.
aiming for the knee.
Well, the ref saw
I think
this.
I found out where two of those supernovas went up that guy's throat. What?
So there's 3 supernovas.
So the ref lets it go, and then he catches a Nova Roller. A Kid catches a Nova Roller, and he's out.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Noam Dar wins, and then Noam Dar gets on the mic, and just the words out of his mouth. I don't even know what half of them mean. I just get them by context. He says, "In the 20-man battle royal, more like 19 Dafties and Noam Dar," and then some other stuff where he's just insulting everybody except himself, and it's brilliant, and I love it. And keep doing what you're doing, Noam Dar. I think they need to keep him out of those long feuds.
Yeah.
Because that one with Trent Seven was just, it was awful because Noam Dar was so charismatic that Trent Seven was the one that looked like the asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But when they keep him in these short ones where he says something stupid to somebody last week during a promo, and now this week we have a match. This is perfect because he can go out there and just be his singularity self without having to worry about a feud to keep going or something specific to do. It's great. It's great.
In other words, he doesn't have to say Alicia,
Fox.
Reshuffle.
So speaking of the 20-man over-the-top battle royal, that is for an opportunity at Walter, and we get a video package for Walter and Imperium, and this is all it is. It's just a video patch.
just quick recap. Hey,
Video pack. Yeah, just these guys are here. and they're bad.
Watch out. This guy hurts.
this guy hurts people. He's got friends.
So speaking of Walter and the
This guy
20-man
hurt
battle
people,
royal,
He got brains to hurt you.
Dave Mastiff gets his turn with a promo about the battle royal, but then so does Cassius Ohno and Ilya Dragunov, and they're intense. They're supposed to be, but whatever.
Cassius Ohno was the best one, I believe, though.
We get this next week.
Yeah.
Though, right? When's the 20-man battle royal?
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week's gonna be an awesome show.
It's gonna be the last one in Coventry, I believe.
But speaking of great shows, this was it, and this is the main event. One more announcement. We do get to find out who the new ring announcer is. Francesca Brown.
We like her.
I like her. She's doing way better than the first show that they were at. And yeah.
She's found her niche.
Yeah, she's all right. And it helps, what's his face, that other guy, to go to commentary where I like him.
British Ryan Seacrest, yes.
I can't remember his name.
Yes.
I wrote it down last week, I think. Or maybe the week before.
Probably because that's the first time he appeared and I was with you.
Andy Shepard.
Yep.
Andy Shepard.
Andy.
So this brings us
Very popular name
to
in
the
Kentucky
main
right now.
event. Travis Banks versus Jordan Devlin for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. And if you thought Travis Banks was leaving with the title, man, I got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
The dude was trained by a fucking demon. Devlin was not going to lose this match. He wasn't going to lose his first defense.
Colin, your thoughts on the main event?
Well, I'm going to go on record and say this is probably the best Travis Banks match that I've seen in recent history.
Mm-hmm.
He made it to the ring without getting hurt. he made it so we got that far, and he was out first. So, I mean, this match could have, we couldn't have even seen Jordan Devlin. But, so he made it to the ring. Thank God on that. He took a couple decent spots in the match, though, like when he goes for the toupee and gets launched into the barricade from Devlin sidestepping it, and you hear that shoulder. I was like, oh, here we go. Fucking another 6 months. God. That's really what went through my mind there. But no, this match was really good. We saw a couple awesome near falls. Both guys looked great. I don't really say this much about Travis Banks matches, but I'd watch this again. I'd go back and watch the main event again for sure. No, definitely. But we knew we knew that Devlin was going to retain. There's no way they're going to have him win. He's going to win a little bit over on NXT, and then we're going to make this big deal about him coming back to the homeland with that championship to have him lose on the first deal to injury-prone Travis Banks.
James.
Next.
I'm just glad that, as Colin said, he actually made it to the damn ring. That's good. That's an improvement. He almost took himself out right in the beginning stages of the match, as we mentioned. I will say that he's a champ for taking that brutal suicide dive. And just genuinely was selling great, and even when he was doing moves, he was selling the shoulder he screwed up. So that was great. And by the way, I don't even know how much of that is actually selling or if he actually fucked up.
There's no telling.
But he did a great job. This has definitely been his best match since arriving on UK, and I'm glad he's going to be able to show his in-ring chops finally, and hopefully, they turn him heel. I think he needs to go heel, and he showed some chops where he can go heel in this match.
CCK.
Yeah, and if you guys want some good indie wrestling from past, since we're all under quarantine and we're not leaving anyway, highly suggest you watch some tag team matches that were short-lived in WCPW with him and Pete Dunne. That's how they both kind of got discovered. So just pointing that out there. He can go. And he always has been able to go. So finally, he's shown to a general audience that, like, oh, this guy isn't an injury-prone accident.
Jerry?
Agreed.
Tonight was pretty much just all about these talents that don't really get showed off very much, or, you know, being put into the ring with these guys that are really good at making other people look good. Because you had the first tag match with Bartel and Eichner versus Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter. Eichner and Bartel made them look fantastic. Nina Samuels made Eva Valkyrie look like passable. Noam Dar made A-Kid look like a star. And Jordan Devlin never puts on a bad fucking match. He just doesn't.
No.
I've scoured the internet on some of my time off looking for a bad Jordan Devlin match. It does not exist.
You were just looking for other Jordan Devlin matches to watch.
Yeah.
It's cool though. This
Well,
was,
actually, it depends on if he fought Enzo Amore in that horrid time.
We don't count Enzo Amore.
So, yeah, I
He's
wanna
strictly for the record.
I want to mention first the spot that everybody talked about. Travis Banks' Tope Suicida, where Jordan Devlin dodges it and throws him into the barricade. He goes back first into the barricade. That was fine. But he goes head first into the mat underneath him and left a print this big of the top of his head.
Please.
He was domed by the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I am surprised he got back up. Credit to him. They probably should have stopped the match.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
I seriously
here's another
doubt he
thing
didn't
about
get a
that.
concussion,
Here's
but
another
whatever.
thing about that. Darby Allin's done it, and now he's doing it. That needs to stop. If just cause like that could kill somebody if that goes wrong. And Pentagon, no, what was it? La Parca proved that. So don't do that anymore, please.
Yeah, they
Jeez.
played it off like he landed on his shoulder. No, he landed on the top of his fucking skull.
He straight up landed on his head on concrete, by the way, because the padding was moved. And the concrete
Well, no,
was
he landed
exposed.
on the padding because the spot was on the padding.
I thought that was his shoulder, like sweat.
I don't know.
Maybe his shoulder sweat and him had his head on the concrete.
Whatever it was not safe looking.
It was
and
nasty
It was
looking.
nasty,
Yeah,
and credit to him
not
for
at all.
finishing the match, even though he probably shouldn't have. But what a match they had from that point on. We saw Jordan Devlin go for the Devlin's greatest hits a couple of times. One time he hits it, and as soon as he hit the Uranagi, I was like,
Knees up.
yeah, knees are going to go up because he's taking too long to pose for the crowd, and then he does the backflip into the moonsault, and yeah, sure enough, knees got up. Let's see, Banks trips Devlin, who's running into the corner. He goes face first into the buckle, and then we see a cannonball followed by a bridging German. And this was the closest, I think, up till the end that I thought Travis Banks might have been in this. But I knew Devlin was going to kick out of that. Near fall. Near fall. Let's see, Banks at one point hits a top rope cave-in. Like, he does that top rope double stomp, but he doesn't usually do it to a standing opponent. This time he comes off with a literal cave-in. So that was really cool. And they go to try and trade a backslide. Devlin fights it off, ends up kicking him in the face with a black mass. But then Banks counters it with a headbutt that knocks them both silly, and then Jordan Devlin falls forward and hits his own headbutt, smack, against Banks, and then they both go down. This was the spot where everybody in the crowd gets up and claps for their effort.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get a breakdown after this, but eventually Banks trips Jordan Devlin, who's going up top, and he gets caught in the Tree of Woe.
Whoa.
And we
The
see...
way they do this, you know how Del Rio did it, and like it just didn't look believable?
Yeah.
The way Devlin set this up was genius.
Yeah, I always hate this spot.
Because-
The double, what he's talking about is the double stomp off the top rope to somebody who's in the Tree of Woe that ends up bringing their sternum up level with the mat, and it's like, why would they do that? Why on earth would they do that? I like the guys
But in this situation, he was already up on the top rope, so Banks knocks him down. He then goes up to the top rope, and then Banks just knuckles his like Jordan Devlin's kneecap to make him pop up, and then he does the double stomp. I thought that was the best way.
It was
I've ever
a
seen.
better way of storytelling
Good
for that
point.
move.
Well, plus Devlin was
agree.
trying to fight it off. So he got caught up trying to fight it off. So this was all good. I was hoping he was going to pop up, somehow get his foot free, and pull Travis Banks into a Devlin side off the top rope, but that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Right. Right.
Instead, though, we get him battling into the other corner, and Devlin ends up doing this slingshot cutter where he's got Travis Banks draped off the corner. That was awesome. Only gets a near fall, though. They fight again, and Travis Banks gets back on top. Hits a slice of heaven.
Yeah.
Hits a slice of heaven. Banks rolls away, and then he pulls him up and gets him into the Kiwi Crusher, but Banks fights through it, ends up going for an Okada roll, and then does a back bridge and grabs the ropes at the 2
Grabs
count
the ropes to win.
to get the 3 count.
Heel tactics.
Yeah, a couple of heel tactics. This and the mule kick to the balls, man.
Yeah.
Like, what a show, dude. Like, maybe it's because
Great
we've
show.
gotten no crowd for the last week plus,
And they livened up a little bit.
but
Yeah.
I think this would have been a really solid show either way.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, that brings us to the end of the main event, and here on the NXT party, we like to rate the main event using good old-fashioned NXT. So out of 5 spots of NXT, let's let James go first, since it's the first time back.
I
in a
would
while.
rate this a good 4.5.
Wow.
I really, really enjoyed this match. There was great spots in it. Everything made sense. Nothing was so out there that it would take you out of the match. It kept you invested. I was invested in Banks for the first time in NXT UK, and I don't even know how long. And yeah, they did great. Obviously, there's really not a reason why it's only a 4.5. Nothing bothered me about it, but it's because I've seen great matches. I can't just rate everything 5-star.
Oh, yeah.
Colin?
Or five spots of tea.
There you go.
All right, so I'm going to give this a 3 3/4, and I'm also going to give it an extra quarter spot of tea because this is the first live crowd show we've seen in a couple weeks, and it was just refreshing. And it wasn't me having to go back and watch replays of something. This is something that I haven't seen, and there was a crowd, and it felt like I was watching wrestling again. I mean, granted, what we get on camera now is wrestling, but you're taking half of the culture of it away. You know what I'm saying? So the crowd plays into it so much. So I'm just going to go an even 4 all down the road.
Jerry?
I'm already going to start at 3.5 because it's a Jordan Devlin match. From there, I give it an extra quarter because it was an awesome match between him and Travis Banks, and they could have easily had just another match that just looked like all their other ones, but it wasn't. This actually had more of a special feel to it, especially for the fact that there was a title on the line, even though you didn't think Travis Banks was going to win it. An extra quarter for the heel tactic at the end, because why not? And an extra quarter for the awesome show in general. So that puts me at, I think, 4 1/4. 4 1/4.
Yeah.
4 1/4 spot to tea.
Well, I thought this match was great, and as most of you know, I start a great match at 4.
Mhm.
I'm going to give it an extra quarter because it was the return of Jordan Devlin. It's his first time defending the NXT Cruiserweight Championship on NXT UK, and I'm going to give it an extra quarter off of a great show. I am going to agree with Colin. 4.5.
No, that was James.
That was me.
Oh, James, yeah. The guy behind me that actually is named James.
But yeah, 4
It's
4.5.
not Charles.
Yeah, I think we've all forgotten. It's been how long since we've seen Jordan Devlin wrestle on NXT UK?
It's been a bit.
Been a very long while.
But
Since
yeah.
he won the title, thank.
But that was just an all-around awesome show.
Yeah, great show. I have no complaints.
Mm-mm.
So that brings us to the end of this episode of the NXT Party. Thank you for joining us. Thanks, guys, for being on the show. James, we got to have you on more now that you're back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that we're all on quarantine, we better get your ass on here next week, too.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see me on here a lot more often. I'm gonna need to be just to distract myself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Colin, thanks for being on the show, sir.
Hey, man, thanks.
I know it's hard to get on between dad duty, so I appreciate it. And if you guys would like to be on a future show, leave in the comments a way for us to get a hold of you. And I'm going to let these guys tell you guys how to get a hold of them. Let's start with James. Where can we find you?
All right, you guys can find me on youtube.com/user/JHEBERTSIDE95. That's JHebertSide95. That's also my Twitter handle. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is JHebert95 without the side. You also can find my CAW Wrestling League, which is Weymouth Youth Wrestling is called. youtube.com/user/WYW Pride. Check that out since you're in quarantine anyway. You might as well watch the shows we put out.
They at least have live shows.
Yep, and also we are back on Rundown. Rundown's coming up for our last week's stuff. I think today or tomorrow. So if you want to check out the Rundown, check it out at youtube.com/user/Wrestling Fortune FORTUNE 44 Wrestling Fortune 44.
Cool. Colin, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at NoDQ Colin Andrew. Find me on Instagram at Colin26Andrew. And follow me on YouTube at the Hebert Colin Andrew. Like James said, we have a bunch of time to kill with nothing to do. So browse our shit, like that stuff, and subscribe. Thanks, dudes, for having me back on. I haven't been on since, I think, episode 82 or Takeover Portland time.
It's been about 5 episodes.
Been a minute. You can find me on Twitter. Go to nodq.com/Stefan. That's STEFAN. Or if you just want to look me up, it's at Stefan R. Osborne, OSBORNE. As always, the R stands for restricted. You can also find the gentleman on Twitter
At Gerald_JSJ, and my Facebook group Armbar, all capital ARMBAR. Exclamation point. I'm really digging this now, dude. Seriously. But we also have the Aftermatch Wrestling Facebook group, which you can join. Like, that's public. And Aftermatch_Wrestling. That's our Instagram page that Colin the Cleaver Andrew runs. And Aftermatch Rest on Twitter.
We take the ling out of wrestling.
Whatever the fuck that means.
You can find me on Instagram at osborne.stefan. You can find him on Instagram at
the_gentleman_slaughter.
Yeah, and you can find both of us on Patreon at my name, Stefan R. Osborne, if you'd like to help the channel. If you have a few seconds, click the like button. That'll help the channel. Or if you like all of our videos, click the subscribe button. That'll help you and the channel. And if you want to see us go live... Oh, there too. Yeah, thanks for the interrupt. Where was I? If you want to see us go live on Thursday mornings or actually Wednesday nights sometimes now, depending on this virus.
Yeah.
For What's NXT, we review NXT. Click that bell icon. It'll let you know when we go live. You can join us in the chat room if you'd like. If we had viewers, we would answer their questions at the end of the shows.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of viewers anymore.
I didn't know you guys were going live.
Well, until I go back to work, we're gonna be doing it live on that night because why not? And I'm gonna be off this next week too. So
I think that's all the plugs. Thank you guys again for joining us for the Hebman, the Hebman, the Archangel, James Hebert, for the Cleaver Colin Andrew, for the General Jerry Slaughter. I am Whiz Fresh Stefan Osborne. Thank you for having a spot of NXT with us, and we will see you NXT time.